So today we're going to talk about reinforcing bodies. I am tired of stuff like this. Splitting, pulling through the end, stuff like that. So I bought a new wrestler body, and I've seen some videos online about Shoe Goo, reinforce, do this, do that to the body. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do some Shoe Goo, and then once all that's dry, we're going to put some undercoating on it. And once that's dry, we're going to repaint it white. Stuff you're going to need: scissors, painter's tape. This is regular old drywall tape, the mesh kind that you can buy in any store. Like using this because it's got a little bit of a stickiness to it. Got some disposable gloves, got some alcohol pads, you can use anything. So you're going to take your alcohol pads and you're going to wipe down the body, get it all good and clean, and then you're going to take your strips and you're going to put them in here, trim them up the best you can, and don't worry too much if they don't. You want to put them into each little crook and crevice where you want it. Kind of press them into place. Pretty much trim them up to where they're going to fit. Don't worry if they keep popping loose, because these keep popping loose. When you start putting that Shoe Goo on there, it's going to help stick in place. Now if you notice on this body, I didn't put it everywhere. I put it in certain spots that I know are prone to breakage and to cracking. Did the same thing with my Bandit. Now my Bandit has already got some cracks right here and right here, and it's already elongated this slot. So what I did, I take the painter's tape, cover up all the holes, and then I just lay out my mesh there, trim it to fit as close as you can. You can do a final trim on it later after everything is done. And then once you've got all that done, we can start applying the Shoe Goo. Now, I've seen different ways of doing this. I've seen people actually take it and squirt it on, take a brush it all out and everything. Biggest thing is make sure you get it all covered. No dry spots. Make sure you cover all the edges so it can't catch something and flake up on you. And make sure you're pressing all your drywall tape into place. So we're going to put on one of the gloves here. One finger in each hole there. Let's try this again. I've seen people do this without gloves, but I don't know why you want to. This stuff is extremely sticky, and I don't know why you would want to get that all over your fingers. And then have to try to get it off your fingers later. So we're going to start back here in the back. Just going to spray, put a little bit of this on here. And I'm just going to spread it around. Get it kind of nice and even. A little of this will go a long way. So you spread it out. Make sure you're not leaving anything unglued. Spread it out a little bit past the edges here. Try to remember you got sticky stuff all over your fingers, so you don't want to really touch the outside of the body more than you have to. But you want to make sure you get it down past the tape. Just make it as smooth on there as possible. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to do all these parts. Actually, check out this wing. It's got cracks in it already. So we're going to do this and see if we can't help strengthen this up to keep it from cracking anymore. I am putting a little thick on this wing because, like I said, it already has some cracks in it, so I'm hoping this is going to help it from cracking anymore. Alright, so I'm going to finish doing the rest of these bodies up, and then I'll put you guys back on after they're all set up and we get ready to move on to the next step. Okay, so it's day 2. Looks like everything is set up very nicely. I've already retrimmed some of the edges on this thing, but it's definitely a lot stiffer already. Even this wing that has this big old crack in it is feeling pretty good actually. Back here where it was already cracked, looks like it's still holding up pretty good. So 2 things I've learned so far. Ditch the rubber gloves. After you get so much build up on the finger of the glove you're smearing around with, it just wants to stick to everything and ends up pulling your tape up. Use your finger. Use a paper towel, wipe your finger off occasionally, but use your finger to spread it all up in there. And then one other thing I did to get down in the crooks and crevices is I used my little Allen tool here and just kind of pushed it down into there to get these things to stick pretty good, and then just turned around and wiped it all off. So the next step, since these bodies all have the plastic off of them already, the protective coating, I'm going to tape them up real good along the outside, to try to prevent some of the overspray. And then we're going to use this Rust-Oleum undercoating Pro Grade, and we're going to coat the whole bodies and all the parts. And then we'll let this set up. We're going to put 2 coats on it. It says to wait 1 to 2 minutes between coats, but we're going to put 2 light coats on it. We'll let it set up for a few hours. This is paintable, and according to the directions on the back, it's best to let dry for 1 to 2 minutes between coats and dry for a minimum of 1 hour. So we'll give it a few hours to dry, and then we're going to repaint them all with white. Oh, another thing I learned. This Shoe Goo puts out some heavy fumes. If you hear the fan running, I'm not sure it's going to pick it up in the video, but that's because this room, I did this almost 18 hours ago, and this room still smells like the Shoe Goo fumes. It is very strong, so you want to do this in a well ventilated area. We get these bodies all taped up, get the first coat of the coating on them, and then I'll get you guys back on here in a little bit. Alright, so here we are. Got the 2 coats of the undercoating on there, 2 thin coats, and if you look, you can really see where that mesh really got down in there and where I was really thick with that Shoe Goo. So I put 1 thin coat on, waited 5 minutes, put the second thin coat on, and now they've been sitting for 6 hours. So now I'm going to go out and then put a couple coats of white on there, and then I will get you back on here in a little bit. Alright, so everything's dry, set up. Took a little X-Acto knife here, recut out all my holes that I needed to. Some of them, like the antenna hole, because I didn't put any shoe glue over them, were just fine. But you can see I've put a couple coats of the white over the, my thoughts on this. Boy, everything is a lot stiffer than it was. Even the parts that had cracks on the Bandit are really stiff. And this wing was completely cracked through here. You can see where it's kind of, maybe you can see where it's kind of sealed in the cracks there. And it's a lot stiffer. So now, let's see how much weight we added. I have my little scale here. So let's turn it on. And I took a snapshot to find out what the weights on them were to start with. And the Rustler, if you can see that or not, but it was 3.10 ounces before, and now it is, I can get y'all where you can see that. Maybe I'll take another picture of it and just add it into the video here. So the Rustler now is 5.40 ounces. Just took like 10 pictures of that. I did. Okay, so it went from, let's see, let's go back here and take a look. The Rustler went from 3.10 ounces to 5.40 ounces. So what, 2.3 ounces of weight? That's not bad at all. Not in my book. Let's turn this back on. Let's check out the Bandit here. So the Bandit went from 1.62 ounces to right at 3 ounces. Let's take a picture of that. Okay, and I will add these pictures into this video once I finish the editing. I hope this has helped some of you out, shown you a good way to strengthen up your RC bodies and make them last a little bit longer. I'm also going to link an article in the description of where I got some of these ideas. In this article, this guy did some extensive testing on these, and in case you're curious, this is number 8 in his series, or number 8 in his article of how he did the testing on this. Again, I hope this helps some of y'all out. If you have any questions, just leave a note in the comments and I'll answer what I can. Once again, thanks for watching.